In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to animate design elements without keyframes. Using a few simple expressions, you can quickly animate background or accent elements, creating an infinite drift. I'll also show you how to fade any layer in and out, again, without using keyframes. There's a lot to get through, so let's dive right in. Okay, so I've got this design here, and I want these elements at the top and the bottom to auto drift, where they float from left to right. I also want them to fade in. And I can do this with no keyframes. Go over to your effects and presets and just type in fade in. Just fade in out frames and fade in out msec. That means millisecond, so I'm just going to add that. Basically, for 1 second, you want to make this 1000 milliseconds. And this will fade in and out. I'm going to solo this layer. The cool thing about this is that there are no keyframes, and you can move this anywhere you want, and it will fade in and out from your in and out points like that. For this other one, just to show you, is this fade in out frames, and it's the same kind of idea, but it's measured in frames, not milliseconds. We're going to make this 30 frames, so that way this is also 1 second. This is a 30 frame comp. Same idea. It fades in and out from your in and out points. So that's how you fade without using any keyframes. I'm going to open up this properties panel. This is new with After Effects 2023. I really like this panel here. You can do everything from this panel that you can do at the layer level. If you want to open up any of these properties, just double click. So double click on position, you get position right here. So see, if you right click on position, you have all these options: edit value, separate dimensions, add keyframe, etc. Right click on position here, you get the same exact options. We're going to separate those dimensions. Option or alt click on the stopwatch. On our X position here, time times 15. This will animate now from left to right, and you can speed this up or slow it down. Since we have this expression on our X position here, I can't really do anything with the value of this. An easy fix for that is to put value plus at the beginning of this expression. So now I can move this wherever I want. And since we separated these dimensions, I can move my Y position, so I can set this anywhere in the comp that I want. So I have full control over where the position is located, but we're going to have that time expression moving everything from left to right. And I also want layer 3 to move in the same way that layer 2 moves. Again, right click on position, separate dimensions. Now I can right click on this X position and copy expression and just paste on to layer 3, EE to bring up your expressions, and you can see this is our time expression. So if you ever need to animate anything from left to right to left, top to bottom, and you want to fade in, just remember to use the fade in expression. Also use value plus time times expression. So we're going to do the same kind of thing that we just did for the other example. Right click on position, separate dimensions. And before I put in those expressions, I want to add in a couple of expression controls. So right click this layer, go to effect, add an expression control. We're going to add in a slider control. So I'm just going to rename this to X, and then we can duplicate that and name this Y. Option alt click onto X position and type value plus time times. I need to bring up my pick whip. This is your expression pick whip. Make sure you're using this one and not your layer pick whip. So your expression pick whip over to X, and then option alt click onto Y. Value plus time times, take your expression pick whip and go over to the slider control for Y. If you scrub through here, you can see that there's nothing really happening, and that's because we have these values set to 0. So now I can close this layer up, and I can control everything from my effects control panel right here. If you want your layer to move from left to right, like in the other example, that's in the X position, positive value. From right to left, type in a negative value. And you can do the same thing on the Y axis. So if you put it in a positive value, that's going to move from top to bottom. Put in a negative value, it's going to go from bottom to top. I'm going to make my X axis a positive value, and then Y will make that a positive value also. It's going to move to the bottom right in a diagonal way. If you want it to go to the top right, make the Y value negative. If you want to go from right to left, remember we want to make this negative. So it's going to go from bottom right to top left. And then make your Y position positive, and it'll go from top right to bottom left like that. So these are just a few ways that you can animate your layers without using actual keyframes. I use this fade in and out all the time. And again, the option is for frames or for milliseconds. And if you have design elements that you want to drift, remember this value plus time times expression. And you always just want to make sure that you separate your dimensions, because if it's not separated, the time expression does not work. You get this error. So to use the time expression on position, you have to make sure that you separate those dimensions. I want to thank Envato Elements for sponsoring this episode, and also thank my viewers for making this sponsorship possible. For designers, editors, and animators, Envato Elements is an amazing resource. With your membership, you can download unlimited assets for anything you could possibly want or need for your projects. Get access to high-res stock videos and photos, as well as motion graphic templates for titles, video displays, logo animations, lower thirds, infographics, promos, openers, and so much more. You also get access to backgrounds, textures, patterns, and icons, which we all know are vital resources. You get access to music for your sound beds in virtually any style or genre you can possibly imagine for designing the perfect sound for your projects. Speaking of sound design, you have access to Envato Elements' entire sound effects database, which includes any sound you could possibly need or want for anything from short film production to commercials to logo stingers. Every asset comes with commercial and non-commercial licensing at no extra cost, so both you and your clients can produce amazing projects with peace of mind. And again, with your membership, you get unlimited downloads of all of these assets from Envato Elements. Download as much as you want, as often as you want, without ever having to pay for individual projects or files. Check out Envato Elements from the link in the description below and get 70% off the first month. That means you have access to everything from Envato Elements for less than $10. It's an unbelievable deal, and I highly recommend you check it out. I hope this tutorial helped you out and that you learned something new and useful. Make sure to come back next time for another tutorial that will expand your knowledge of After Effects while also teaching you some really cool tips, tricks, and shortcuts. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Support our channel by getting your 7-minute AE merch today at our online store. And sign up for my Udemy course, The Power of Shape Layers, is guaranteed to make you a shape layer rockstar. The link to that course, to our 7-minute AE store, and the project files for this episode are all in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.